have another offline question from Rob, who said he's changing careers and it doesn't, or wants to change careers, but doesn't know whether he should leave recruitment, like for the insecurity of freelancing. How do you know if you're making the right decision? What if you regret it?
So that's really interesting, because the theory is that when you do leave your full-time, salary job, you should have 3 to 6 months salary in the bank, okay, of what you've. So when I left my job, I had a knee-jerk reaction. I maybe had about three weeks worth of salary in the bank. So I think that you need to make sure that you can support yourself to begin with. And I always encourage people start moonlighting. Like, I know you're not supposed to, I know it's not the done thing, but you actually have to test the waters. So when I went on my own, I was already, when they had sold the business, I'd already gone to a 4-day week, because I knew doing what I was doing, I didn't want to do for the rest of my life. And I needed that one day to, first of all, build all my training content, and then try and see if there were companies that I could go and deliver this training content to. And when I was suddenly booked up, every Wednesday that I didn't work, I was like, okay, now I'm onto something. I know this idea is going to work. It's going to fly. I am going to go and just do it. It's a calculated risk. It really and truly is. And you need to be as confident as possible. Like, we knew, I did things like I dropped like my private banker. I had no debt and all of those things. And I knew we could both survive on my husband's salary if it all did go horribly wrong. I didn't expect COVID to hit 6 months later, which was interesting in itself. We knew that it could be done. And I think that was something that was a very calculated risk, but it was something that I needed to do.
It sounds like you had to ask yourself some really hard questions about, like, what does security mean to you? Like, is it a full-time job? Is it freedom and maybe some sacrifices in the short term? I think that is always the thing that most people going into consulting don't think. They're like, it's going to be so hard. It's going to be so scary. Where's money going to come from? Like, at the end of the day, if you're in a full-time job, you don't know where money comes from. You just know it comes.
And the way full-time jobs are going at the moment, it's like, how safe are you? So I'll be honest with you, Candice, my biggest expense in life is Royal Canin for my kids. Like, literally, that's it. Like, I don't have school fees. At the time I did, had aging parents at that stage. Now I have an aging parent who maybe didn't invest as well for their future as they should have. So I do support there. But I tell you what, it was just one of those things that I just knew that I had to do it. And I think the key thing is actually just taking a step back and saying, what is the gap in the market? Like, literally, what is missing here? And I knew that 6 years ago, talent sourcing was a big gap in the South African recruitment market, because I'd already been going to international conferences and realizing, hold on, these guys do things differently. I need to bring this back. Not realizing that when COVID hit, the whole world actually needed to learn how to do talent sourcing. And I was well positioned, because everyone was at home. It didn't matter that I was, doing it online. I could start training everywhere in the world, which was actually very lucky.
Amazing. I love taking advantage of that opportunity to go global. And it can be very difficult if you're in a small country, because to overcome the view of you're South African, you shouldn't get paid as much, you don't know as much, or you're not as advanced. I think it's really hard to overcome that. And
I make a joke of it. I'm like, yeah, here I am. I'm sitting in third world Africa.
I love the disruptors and those just divergent people in the world.